Welcome to Got a Problem, Mate, the podcast of dreams. Joey Page is here.
Finally, I've got a chair that matches my status on this show.
An office chair?
No, because remember last week I was really small.
Yeah.
So now I've got a big chair.
He claims he would.
Did you like how I just beamed into the show there?
That's pretty good. Is that as low as it goes?
For those listening, I was up really high. I'm sure you can imagine. I was up really high, and then I pulled a lever, and then I sort of beamed into the shot. If you've never seen it, you can watch it on YouTube, and if you are watching it, you can listen to it on podcast platforms.
If you're watching it, you don't need to listen. You don't need to know about the listening.
But sometimes that's quite a nice experience because you can shut your eyes.
You can shut your eyes.
And imagine that I'm right next to you, and I'll be like, "Hi, I've just come round to yours to chat. I've got my friend Bilal with me."
You could do that with YouTube, though, right? You don't stay still.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Got a Problem, Mate, the podcast. My name's Joey Page. I am one of the best stand-up comedians in the country, or at least that's what I think. And this is Bilal Zafar. He's also a very good stand-up comedian and friend of mine, and we do this podcast together. We've been doing it for 20-something weeks now, and we've been solving problems left, right, and C.
Very nice.
Yes.
How have you been?
I told you last week I've been in such a good mood lately, and that has continued on upwards. Do you want to know what I did the weekend?
Yeah.
Went to see Blur at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereabouts did you sit?
Well, my friend Jimmy from the podcast, he got us hospitality tickets.
How?
Huh?
But he writes about food. What's that?
Yeah, but
got
he's
to
a
do with Blur?
journalist.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. We reviewed the burgers at Wembley Stadium.
Right.
But the problem was we both misunderstood. I thought I was getting the beers for the train, and no, I thought I was getting them, and he thought he was getting them. So we both turned up with like 4 beers each. So we had to guzzle 4 beers on the tube. So by the time we got there, we were already 3 sheets to the wind.
I've had that problem with twirls.
Yeah.
Did you try the mint twirls?
What concert did you go to?
It was a Timmy Mallet thing.
Yeah, and who
at
did you
Wembley.
go with?
Chris Tarrant.
Yeah, and he brought
He
3
brought-
12s? You brought
No, big multi-pack.
oh,
And then I brought the same big multi-pack.
and you had to finish them before you got off the tube because it's a 12-free zone that went
You get
away.
kicked out for having that.
You all right?
What's been your problem this week?
No, well, what do you mean? I'm asking you. How's your week been? You've been all right?
Oh yeah, I'm moving house soon. I've been very stressed with the packing things up. It's a nightmare. You don't realize how much crap you've got.
Just don't take. You don't need all that stuff.
No, I'm chucking stuff away.
What are you getting rid of? Is there anything I might want?
What sort of thing you
I
after?
don't know. What are you getting rid of?
I got sent over lockdown. I got sent loads of merch from Konami because I do the Pez stuff, and
I wouldn't have thought so.
like a stylus. You know what that is?
What, for a record player?
No, is that what it's called? A style? It's like a little thing with on your phone. I use my fingers.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that. Been binning a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but
I
thank
don't
you,
want-
Konami. But
I don't want any of this.
they sent me a green snood. It's not even branded. Why did they send me that?
This. For green screen, in case you want to edit your neck out of a video.
That would be Oh, I should have used it. I could have had
Your chin's
neck.
already really small. You don't need to edit it out even more.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm very excited about our guest today.
Why?
Well, one, I haven't seen him for 4 years, and he's actually a very good friend of mine.
You haven't seen him for
And I don't
4
know.
years?
I don't know if you know how good a friend I am with him. And
I
I
know
thought it'd
that
be fun to
you're-
not really tell you.
Okay, I know that you're good pals.
Because you got him on, and I just was like, yeah, cool, that'd be great. But actually, I'm very excited to see him.
Okay, should we get him in?
I would think so.
Well, yeah, because we're wasting his time.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
And waiting times are already through the roof.
Yeah,
So
we're going to be talking about the NHS.
we're going to be talking about how rude doctors' receptionists are.
We're going to be talking about, is he really allowed to do prescriptions, or is he giving his mates tramadol to get high on?
Has he got any of that good old Michael Jackson stuff for me?
Fentanyl?
I don't know.
Nice bottle.
Thank you.
What's...
It's it goes in. There's like a coffee cup that you put in it as well, and it all goes into the same thing. So you've got a water bottle and a coffee cup.
Why?
In the same go. What do you mean? Why? So you don't fucking use coffee cups all the time? Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah. But how much water does goes in that?
What do you mean, how much water?
How
that
much
water?
does it take? What's that in
I don't know.
litres? It's about 4 litres.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Do you want to do the intro now? You finished water bottle chat, which for anybody listening, that was very confusing.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have today is not just a guest.
Sometimes I like to try
Mate, you
and
can't
visualize
interrupt.
what the listener is seeing by
Okay.
shutting my eyes.
All right, so
when
you
we
keep
talk.
your eyes shut. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have not just a guest, but a friend, a father, a doctor. He cares about the earth realm, he calls it, in many of his books. He says we got to protect Earth realm at all costs. He does holistic stuff. He has crystals in his flat. He's nice lad. My friend, your friend soon to be, Mr. Matt Winning.
I'm going to do my
Dr.
intro
Matt
now.
Winning.
Dr.
I'm
Matt
going to do
Winning.
my intro now.
Oh, yeah.
On today's podcast is one of the cleverest people I know. He once called me a monster when I was sat outside of a lift in a hotel, very hungover. He has written a wonderfully funny and smart book about climate change, which I enjoyed so much that A, I read over half of it, and B, bought for my friend as a gift. He's also a very talented stand-up comedian. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I've no idea what he's like as a father. But if we are ever in the same pizza shop in Edinburgh together, which we don't plan, then he will shout baklava for the boys and offer to buy a round of baklava for whoever's in the
love
pizza
that
shop.
stuff. They
It's
sell
my
that-
friend Dr. Matt Winning.
That's it. They have that with pizza. What?
They don't have it with pizza.
No,
It's
we
a-
No, they
go
have it
to
in-
Edinburgh. We go to Palmyra, which is a very famous kebab
Oh.
pizza shop, but they also sell baklava.
You're right. Okay.
And there was a period of about 5 years when me and Matt were doing Edinburgh every year at the same time, and we wouldn't really see each other throughout the festival, but we would always know at some point we would see each other in there.
at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and then one time he shouted baklava for the boys, and then bought a round of baklava for everybody that was in there that wanted one.
So he's
And then-
a dangerous doctor.
Well, if you've got a nut allergy and he hasn't checked, yes.
He's killed you. How are you doing?
Good. It would be good to have a podcast where you do this whole thing on YouTube and everything, people are watching, but you just keep your eyes closed the entire time
Yeah.
every episode, and nobody saw your, never saw your eyes.
Well, the whole time I had my eyes shut, everything that's worked fine just on audio.
be a weird thing to watch, just nobody with their eyes open.
Why? What
You mentioned it in the
I
introduction.
didn't mention having your eyes closed the whole time.
Close your eyes the whole time. Yeah, boy.
No, he said he wants to close his eyes.
All right.
I don't ever say I've said close your eyes.
No, I just wanted to close my eyes to make sure it works for the listener.
Got you.
Check.
Because it's too much of a visual feast sometimes, this podcast.
Well, we did have an episode where we had a magic trick, and that was a visual feast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the audio listeners.
I enjoyed the football commentator guy. He was great.
Oh,
class,
That was
wasn't
great.
Rob,
Some great questioning by you as well.
Yeah.
I felt like a great interview, and you were also
here,
there.
present.
It's nice to meet you as well properly.
Well, it's good to meet you, Doctor.
Yeah.
And I love your work.
Thanks. I'm a big
And-
fan. We follow each other on
TikTok.
So
Vine.
wait a minute. So
Fine.
Vine.
Yeah.
You do all those vines about what was it? Tony Madden.
I say
for anybody like relevant and young, Vine is a thing that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
For anyone relevant.
Yeah.
Because
Because K's and L who are behind the camera and audio, they're at least in their 20s, and they won't know what Vine is.
they don't know what Vine is. That's like saying VHS.
Mm.
But
If only 25 people had a VHS.
it's gonna get cold later this week. So then, how is that global warming then?
Oh, we're starting, aren't we? We're
yeah.
starting with this, are we?
Yeah, well, do we need to give our
We-
listeners a
but,
slight bit more background
think
on
so.
the fact that
Yeah.
of what Matt? So you're a doctor of what?
Oh,
It's so doctor of philosophy, because that's what most doctorates are, in economics. So from an economics department, and specifically looking at the economics of climate change policy.
wait, you're a doctor of.
Climate policy is what I would say, for simple people.
So you don't have to do a PhD to become a doctor, of course. Can you
What?
Can you get a PhD in media studies?
I imagine you probably can.
We've got
yeah.
media degrees. The boys behind the camera have media degrees.
I'm sure you could. I wouldn't
So
advise it.
Why?
Because
Why can't we?
Well, you can do it. If
Why
you
are
want.
you the only one allowed to be a doctor?
No,
in here?
you absolutely could. I'm not advising it from a sort of. I don't think it's going to help your career in any way whatsoever. Unless you want to become an academic. Do you want to become an academic at university?
What's that?
What is an academic or what is a university?
What's the academic? What do you
Did you
do?
go? Did you?
He went to Bolton Uni, so
Right.
Yeah.
How is that?
all due disrespect.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Are you all right?
Yeah, there we have it.
I know. Hang on. Sorry.
What
Just
does an
1 second.
academic do? Write
Just
a book.
1 second, Matt. Can we just have a little?
Yeah.
I know you're moving house.
I'm very stressed.
You need to get in the fucking game.
I'm in the game, mate.
No, get in.
I've just held him to account.
He's got
It's
his...
just, you know.
Is it this kind of?
I
I didn't
fro-
realize
I
it was this sort of a
Frost Nixon to you.
podcast.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, Matt.
Yeah. It's hard to know who to actually answer the questions from on this podcast, if I'm honest.
Well, you know, do you want to actually have healthy debate? Or are you in your woke mind virus?
I'm happy to have a healthy debate. Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't believe in the vaccine.
Right.
I do. That's not true. You can get a fake doctorate for 40 quid online. I was just Googling it. So.
Oh,
I'd imagine so. Yeah, probably.
Huh?
how much was yours?
I didn't. I got a stipend to do my PhD.
What's a stipend?
I think I had that once. I was off sick for about 3 days. No, but in all seriousness,
Doesn't miss a beat, does he?
He's
Bilal
very
wants
quick.
to talk to you about climate change.
Yeah.
But I just felt like we should lay the ground rules of what you were an
Yeah,
actual
sorry.
doctor of. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know this because I'm your friend, but these people are strangers. You
Well-
shouldn't trust them.
Right. Got you. Bilal actually did the show before me at the Edinburgh Fringe
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Was
So
it 2 years
if
in a row?
he just stayed, he would have learned
I
something.
know, but he likes to go and get food instead.
Yeah, yeah.
And he likes to get it in that in them takeaway polystyrene containers that are so bad for the earth.
Yeah.
Oh, you dirty man. I have recycled. I did, of course, see we're doing a bit of jokey bantering. No, I don't believe climate change is real, but we did have to show
You
it
don't
after.
believe it's real.
But I did see your show both times, and though I
I'm
didn't
sure you
agree
did.
with it, politics aside, very, very funny. And something that's interesting is that you told me that you basically your show is like 2 hours initially, didn't you tell me that? And then you cut it down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, some of them, yeah, have been very lengthy. And then,
Normally it's the other way. We try and get it up to an hour.
yeah, but there's large swathes of it that are just me talking about graphs. So, I mean, it has to be edited down.
Well, you're not allowed to do 2 hours.
No, and you're not allowed to either. No,
No.
in fact, I would advise.
You had a cool projector that I had to borrow
55.
once.
Yeah, you
Well,
helped.
nobody here cares if you borrowed a projector off of Matt winning. Objection.
All right.
Objection.
All right.
Right. All right. I'm going to ask some questions like a normal person would ask, right? And I know some of this stuff, but also,
Yeah.
I'm asking on behalf of our dear public.
I
here,
really
right?
hoped that I
This
wouldn't
is
have to.
pathetic.
Yeah, have to answer these sorts of questions. I
Yeah.
thought we'd just have a nice chat.
I'm
we
sorry.
are gonna-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Why should I
Yeah.
wash out my pickle jar and other recycling when the big city tower blocks won't turn off their lights?
Big Pharma.
Farmer or pharma?
Big Pharma.
What, farmer
Yeah.
or pharma?
Farmer.
What? So now you're making fun of them.
No, a big farmer.
A big, really big one.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Very
What?
tall.
Old McDonald.
Old McDonald's doesn't do.
Well, they use
recycling.
biofuel, so they're fine now, according
And
to their
also,
own.
Happy Meals are not plastic anymore.
So we're gonna try and
Toys.
talk about the question, which is why should you recycle when a big tower box got its lights on?
Well, no, but if you look at the city, like from my flat, I'm just showing off here. I've got a wonderful view of the city, and it is
You
very
do,
pretty.
yeah.
But why we don't have them lights on? If they can't be bothered, like that would.
Yeah. So
Why am I there with my trying to get that last bit of pickle out so some woman in China doesn't have to rewash my jar out?
yeah.
Excuse me.
That's what happens. They get sorted.
So a couple of points. First of all, recycling is probably the least effective way to tackle climate change as an individual. So it's the thing I'd worry about the absolute least.
Right, fuck that.
Right. So I'm just saying,
Chuck it all
if you have
the
to,
road. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you want to,
I mean, there was a telly in my recycling bin the other day, so you know.
yeah, give it a shot. You know, do as good as you can, but don't let it. You know, don't give it too much time.
I guess what I'm saying is, why won't they turn the lights off?
What? Yeah, it's a good question. Imagine, I don't work for whoever this is.
Let's call them HSBC.
Right, something like a large conglomerate don't turn the lights off. So first of all, it'd be good if they did. It depends where their energy's coming from. So they maybe, you know, if that electricity is renewable, then
But
it's
they
not,
probably won't know, will they?
well, it's probably, you know, I still think it's good to be more energy efficient and save costs because it's still costing them money to keep the lights on. But you'd have to ask someone internally what the reason for that is. Is it so that they can work at all hours, or is it, you know, about
Then just turn it on if you're in
safety
there.
or something like that? I agree.
My dad would be going mad if I left the light on in another room.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I don't specifically work for
I know.
whoever that is.
You don't?
No.
What about if they had big solar panel things on the roof? Then that's fine. Is that what you meant by renewable?
Yeah. So if they had solar panels on the roof and they're running it themselves, then they can kind of do what they like. You know what you're all about. Your sort of side of the argument is all about free speech and being able to do
and men's rights.
Doing what you want.
Men's rights are so important.
That's
so important.
let's come on.
This isn't last week's show.
You know, you can do what you want. Freedom of choice. There you go.
Freedom of speech.
So if you want to, choice, not speech. I'm not talking about what you say. I'm talking about if you choose to waste energy, then that's your choice. That's what you guys would be all about. So
I do have a genuine question. How long do these solar panel things last? Because I think we all imagine that they are forever. You know, when you get a little solar powered torch. But do you know like how long?
At the moment, I mean, it's improving all the time, but normally about 25 years, 30 years.
It's quite long.
It's quite long.
And why don't we have more? Why don't we have it everywhere? Is it just
we need more investment in it.
People don't care.
You need to funnel the money from going into, you know, people want returns on investment. So you need to. It's
all about money at the end of the day.
It's all about money. Yeah,
Would you support?
And I think there should be more money in it. Essentially,
if there could be solar panels everywhere, all around the UK, would you support it if it was done by the mafia? Sorry, I spat. Would you support if it was the mafia that did
the
it?
Italian mafia? Or
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, the bad.
The Bromsgrove
Or
Mafia.
what sort of mafia are we talking about here? Is it local mafia for local people?
Yeah, proper mafia. You know,
Okay.
extortion. You need to give them cut your money for protection, but really they're just beating you up.
Right. I'd prefer if it wasn't done that way.
But they're saving the planet.
But if it's it's a trade off, isn't it? It's a difficult thing to, you know, it's a difficult question to answer for anybody, I think.
Essentially, as long as the oil and gas companies give so much money to government, nothing's going to happen, right?
Sorry, that was that.
I don't
that was
have
for
anything.
me. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean,
You'll be surprised by this. I was chatting to someone who's studying chemistry and in terms of renewable and making like essentially energy efficient and environmentally friendly from a chemistry point of view. And he said once the costs make it cheaper, then that's when the governments will switch over. But until then, they're not going to do anything about the planet.
yeah, I mean, we're pretty much there though in terms of costs. So the cost of gas obviously has gone up. Coal's very expensive.
But the
Cost
amount of
nuclear.
money that a government would get
Government
from
revenues
backing.
from it.
and backing.
So it's been easy to kind of tax oil quite high because there's been so much profit from it, and then government, you know, it brings in government revenue. But really, you know, governments, as you say, will need to sort of have reduced revenues from income streams. But one thing, but should the governments be getting it? Should we not have local community energy projects and the money you get wind farms on your little island, and then all the money from that, you know, a part of it goes back to the company that did it, but part of it goes to the local community, and those people can benefit from the wind that's happening or whatever it is that's happening in their local area.
But because governments would not make any of that money, they wouldn't allow that to happen. It's like using other fuels for cars.
Yeah.
You could do that. You could put chip fat in a car, technically, right?
Yeah, and it's the cost. Part of it's that, but you would need government support to get the costs down, and the costs have come down on quite a few technologies. So,
Did you say you could put chip fat in a car and you just carried on like normal?
yeah, you could. I mean, people do it.
Do they?
Do they?
Yeah.
Could I do it?
I mean, you'd have to, I think, convert I'm not a car specialist, but yeah, I think
it
you
would
could do it.
explode.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, you could.
He
people
drives
do
a
it.
lot. He'll
Will
be
they
on
get me
his
to
way
Bristol
a gig.
tonight?
No.
Driving to Bristol.
Car share, actually.
Oh,
Saving the planet.
well done. Good stuff. What? I just did my mileage for the first time there on my tax return the other night. I don't normally drive. I've not really driven because I'm into the climate stuff. But I've had to drive to some place. I got a car a few years ago, second hand.
So that's
smallest car.
hypocritical
Yeah.
of
Oh,
you.
here we go. Yeah.
No.
So he tells us, everyone, he tells Dr.
He
Matt
tells
Winning,
us, yeah.
tells us that doctor tells us, he said, make sure you recycle. That's the most important thing he said.
No, and I didn't say that. I said the exact
he
opposite
gets
of
a
that.
private jet with Greta.
I've never met her.
I'm so sorry about this, Matthew.
Why do you think so many people like me are opposed to believing that it's a real thing? I genuinely don't understand. Like, why is it a political thing? Because it is, isn't it? Like, it's very,
It is, yeah.
you know.
The reason and the real answer to that is that the solutions require a fair amount of government intervention. So, for instance, insulating everybody's homes, right? Insulate Britain, whatever it is. You do need to do that, and it's a really sensible thing to do. But people aren't going to have, 10 grand up their sleeves to be able to pay for that. So there's a poverty. There's an equity part of it.
And my
Give me a
flat's quite
minute.
small. It gets smaller with the insulation.
Well,
on each
that's
wall.
very true.
Yeah.
Can I make one serious point and then that's it. So you need centralised government backing of those things to be able to.
It was just to give me a...
Oh, I like this.
Sorry.
You need centralised coordination of things, and some people hate the idea of more government
Intervention.
Okay.
And you also have the problem that a lot of people see it as an environmental issue, and they hate environmentalists. And it's not necessarily an environmental issue because it affects lots and lots of stuff, but people see it as associated with something.
You can't have environmental without the word mental, for example.
Thank you.
I think that's not. If that goes viral, it's not going to be in a good way. So basically, people are. It feels like the people that want to solve it more than anything are the opposite of them, or the people that they already dislike, so they will go against it. So, if people actually looked at things in a very dispassionate way, they would understand that it's an issue.
But they would be the same people on the tube going, "Oh, it's so fucking hot. Why is it so hot?"
Yeah, and it's very hot in here as well. Do you know? And I don't know how. Well, so the more carbon dioxide there is in the room or the atmosphere, so it's well insulated because of you want to get the sound and stuff. But there's not that much airflow, and that means that affects your cognitive ability.
Yeah.
So your ability to
Well,
think
that would
and say,
that
it explains a lot, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does
Why
explain
this
that.
podcast is so bad.
What?
Uh,
So what about aircon? Because you did a tweet where you said Con Air. I like that tweet. Just remembered because I like that film.
It's a great film. If we could talk about that, that would be ideal.
In a minute.
Con Air.
Yeah.
Con Air. Oh my god, fantastic.
Right, in a minute. Okay.
Obviously temperatures are rising with the 40-degree day we had, and is it going to happen again? Possibly.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hopefully 29th
soon.
of July, because my birthday going to be Brighton Beach.
Yeah, but you don't want that, man. You don't want 40 degrees.
I'll be in the
You'll
sea.
die.
I'll be in the sea.
Boy like you.
That'd be fun.
very pasty.
So
I've actually got Spanish skin. No one knows why, because I haven't got any Spanish heritage. But
And where did
Look
you?
at how tanned I am.
What's Spanish skin?
Yeah, I was about to
It's
say. Where did
It's
you
a
buy that
tan
from?
well.
Is this a Benidorm tan?
Anyway.
Yeah, with it getting hotter and then aircon is bad for the environment, isn't that a thing?
Isn't that a thing?
Isn't that a thing?
None of the questions on this podcast have ever got the correct syntax.
No, I've noticed that. So aircon uses energy, yeah, and it also
Yeah.
uses like fridges and stuff use HFCs, other sort of greenhouse gases in them. But as long as they don't escape and they're disposed of properly, it's kind of fine. But yeah, aircon requires a lot more energy use. Depends where that electricity's coming from. If it's from coal and gas, say in Abu Dhabi, big shopping centres, they have to aircon the whole thing, and that's all coming from burning oil, and then it gets hotter, and then they need more aircon. You get this sort of vicious cycle of needing more aircon because it's hotter, which uses more energy, which makes it hotter.
And you turn up your freezer because you need more ice cubes, and then the ice caps melt, and we've got less ice, but we need more ice.
Yep, there you go.
You turn up your freezer, do you?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
You can change the temperature.
Yeah, but it's already cold enough, right? Ice is ice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't...
Ice is ice.
Ice is ice. Yeah. That was that song, wasn't it?
Ice is ice, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen any films, so he hasn't seen Con Air.
I have seen Con Air,
Have you?
and I've seen when Nicolas Cage comes onto the Terry Wogan show or something like that and does a cartwheel flip.
Didn't he do a forward roll or
I've
something?
I've not seen that.
Oh, mate.
I'll show you it. Should we do some problems? It's been a very problem-light podcast, and we've had a complaint. We've had a genuine complaint.
Did you have something to do with this?
So, me and Bilal have been trying to go viral with clips, and I told a story about when my dad stole his mate Ken's towel and kicked him up the arse and then locked him in an adjoining room of a hotel because on the other side they'd left their adjoining door open, and then Ken, naked, had to go out into the hall because he didn't want to be naked in some stranger's room. And then when they called security and said there's a naked man running around. Very funny business. And basically, little did I know that this podcast is getting so popular that one of Ken's daughters listened to the podcast and then said, "Dad, what's this about you being naked in a hotel lobby?" And then Ken's wife was like, "What's going on here?" And then it's caused some friction at home. So Ken has rung me and put the record straight and told me the real story. And basically, the story is essentially true, but he threatened me, so I have to say it's not true. And that's all been made up.
What kind of threat?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
It wasn't really threat. I was just...
One of
Ken
Ken's
said it's
daughters.
only part true.
Won't specify which daughter.
And only part true.
You didn't need to use his real name, and now his daughter won't talk to him.
Ken.
No, don't do it again.
So I hope that's cleared that up for Ken Langley from Chislehurst. But yes, we've done no problems on the podcast. So Bilal, what even was your problem today? Try to get the show on track, Matthew.
Nobody cares about the actual...
Yeah, I tried to tell him. What? Go on.
I was just going to tell a story about how when my mates we came down to London before I lived down here about, I don't know, 10 years ago or 12 years ago. And we had a hotel out near your sort of way. And my mate had the room with the shower in it, like the disabled room where the shower's in...
And there's a seat in the shower.
And there's a seat in the shower.
Yeah.
And he...
And a little arm.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he had that room and he went to bed early. So at 3 a.m, I came in and had a shower. Just stripped naked, had a shower, washed myself. It was really nice. Woke him up, obviously. And it's just when you're talking about being naked in hotel rooms. It's an idea for a prank.
Wait, so he was in the room?
Well, he was asleep in his bed, but
and then he
his
woke up
sightline was me
naked in the shower.
Naked in the shower, yeah.
Did any water get on him?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't feel like you're much of a prank person, Bilal.
No, I don't get.
Did you get? You've been punked.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been punked?
I've been punked.
Who punked you?
Ashton.
There's not a chance you've met him.
Oh, do you want to tell your story for
what
to go viral? How's your Mike Tyson story doing for the viral?
It's been good. Do you know what happened with my Mike Tyson story?
Yeah, I heard all. I've paid attention to all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
really. I normally skip through, just fast forward through those bits.
Yeah, people think it's true. Sorry, we lost track. Let me tell you my problem that I have, okay?
Yes.
All right.
And I apologise for how Joey's been on this.
The Ken story has got nearly 20,000 views on Reels now
Which Ken?
about Ken being kicked in the.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
And now you've
sorry,
given
Ken,
away
it's going
his-
viral.
Oh,
From
that's
Chislehurst.
Really sad. Chislehurst.
My dad's old boss.
I'm moving house soon. Matt. I'm moving house soon, and we have some viewing starting tonight. People are coming to view the flat. I know, right? Isn't it painful? We did a lot of tidying yesterday, and
Yeah.
you just don't want it. How do I make sure that my flat gets taken quick? So obviously we don't own it; we rent. So how do we make sure someone else loves it, falls in love with my flat immediately? My stuffy flat.
So the problem you've got, I mean, you're not the landlord, so you can't do a huge amount to it.
I can't drill. I can't. No.
So, I mean, my first advice would be probably to have your wife rather than you doing the view there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. So leave
Don't
her
be
alone
there.
with these strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the taco place you like.
But I was gonna stay, and I was gonna ask them like.
Yeah.
No, I was
this
gonna
is
say
the-
like it's getting hotter. It's getting colder this week. So how is it real? Global warming?
No, that's what I'm saying. I knew that's the sort of thing you're going to try and bring up. So I would leave the property
Right.
for the length of the viewings, and that's probably the main thing that you,
What if
as
I
an individual,
hide
could
in
do.
the shower
Yeah,
and they
okay.
come in?
And you're naked when they.
Yeah. And
And then say you've been punked.
You've been punked.
There you go.
By the way, guys, it's getting colder this week, so it makes you.
And the-
You should actually say this flat is perfect when it gets hotter and colder.
talk
Because
about,
people want to know
talk about the insulation
Yeah.
and the energy use efficiency. Have you got a smart meter?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Got a smart meter, and there's a recycling bin downstairs. We don't use it. We put it in the road.
I can tell you exactly what to do
Okay.
with the flat. It's all
This
about
is
lighting,
important, man.
It's
Oh,
all about
yeah.
lighting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would. Have you got lamps?
Yeah.
I would direct them towards the walls to give some shadow and depth to make it feel bigger than it is.
Oh, what about
Yeah.
mirrors everywhere to make it look massive?
Yeah. If you've
Above
got
the
any
bed?
room. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have that one.
Under the bed.
Yeah.
Surrounding the bed.
Has the bathroom got any mold?
Nah, man. My wife's actually done a really good job of cleaning it. It was disgusting when we moved in.
Okay. How cluttered is your kitchen?
It's all right. We
Put everything away.
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
away. Air fryers out, slow cookers out, looking good.
Hide all the cat
Full
stuff.
bread
They
toaster.
you don't want them thinking, oh, I'm going to move in here and find like a decrepit old cat turd or it stinks of cat piss because they've had a cat.
We've cleaned it all up with the cat stuff.
But
That's
I'd move all
fine.
the cat stuff. Like, don't make it even look like a
Matt,
cat was
you're
living
okay
there.
with cats?
That was going to be my problem when we get around to it.
That you don't like cats?
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
get to it.
Oh, for God's sake, we have so many anti-cat people coming
No,
on.
either. And it might not be an anti-cat.
Well, he better not be.
Yes.
Anti-cat and anti-vax. Fair enough, actually. I agree with both of you on... Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, so they're my suggestions.
So yours is...
Leave the
don't
place.
leave the property. Don't tell them about my views about the...
No, and if you do have to stay, highlight the smart meter.
I'm also like a pickup artist. What if I talk about that?
Are you? I wouldn't advertise that you're a pickup artist to anybody, not even on this podcast or anything.
But it's good.
Unless you're picking up listeners and viewers.
Well, I can't do that. And your advice was to shine a lamp on the wall.
No, I think that's good advice.
I'll do both of these tonight.
Also, I would have a viewing. I'll get someone to come around, like me or Matt, and be like, we could walk around and like do like a snagging this, be like, that needs to change, that's got to go, etc., etc.
What was your problem that your dad's friend's going to beat you up?
My problem is, the Ken has been on. And we've had a
The
complaint.
Ken?
The Ken has been on, and we've had a complaint.
Okay, Matt, do you want to do your... Oh. Would you...
Do you want the listeners' problem, or do you want to do your
We'll
problem?
we'll do our guests first.
All right.
Oh, it's to the listeners.
What? No, you don't get to...
Yeah, you can.
Don't give him the option.
Right. Well, my problem is, so we moved house 3 years ago. Somebody said I had a flat at the start of this. I own a house. So it's not very big. But I had to move quite far away as well to be able to afford it. Point is, our neighbours were very nice when we moved in. Young couple, sort of our age, great. Then they were having a kid, so they moved away. And the street is now being infested by middle-aged divorced women with cats. Now, I don't have an issue with middle-aged divorced women.
Sorry, we can't do this one because that's our key demographic.
Just
No, I'm
do
joking,
Colleen Nolan
Colleen Nolan.
knows best. That's one of our features.
Carry on.
Colleen Nolan. Sorry, go on.
Now, the cats... Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yes.
The cats fucking shit.
Yeah.
Piss and shit and rotten turds everywhere.
Yeah.
All over my garden.
Yeah.
My front garden and my back garden. And I've got a small child. And I don't have much time, right? I've not got a lot of time in my life. I have 2 jobs and a child and a lot of stuff to do, right? And get on with things. And I end up spending like an hour just cleaning up cat shit that's someone else's cat, right? And that's quite a lot of time for me every couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I've bought little things in your garden that you put batteries in and you turn it up and it goes beep, beep.
And it
When
stops the
they
cat.
move it. I bought that. I bought fucking stuff that you throw on the ground
What's
that
that?
stinks, stinky
Yeah.
stuff. I don't want to start using stuff like that, but I'm out of ideas.
And they're still doing
I've got
it.
spikes, right? I've got spikes.
Spikes.
Like I've got a rose bush, so I've cut up the bits of the rose bush and I've got big spikes with,
Yes.
and I've stuck it in lots of bits.
And you have a small child.
Well, yeah. And so, how do I? I'm at war with
It's
my
very
neighbour's
easy.
cats.
Okay.
It's
How do I
very
solve
easy.
this?
Okay, I've got a couple of great ideas, but you
Let's hear yours first.
Right.
'Cause, yeah.
have you thought about putting a little security camera in the front and back, right? And then you could watch the footage on like triple time and you can work out which cats it is and you can work out where they live. And then you go around quite aggressively say, for every shit in my garden, a brick's coming through your fucking window, mate.
Yeah.
Thought about that?
Yeah, I have thought about
Oh,
that.
you've done that.
I've not done it, no, but I've thought about it.
Another idea.
It's something I think about a lot.
Another idea is cat traps.
Oh yeah,
You trap that once the cat, then it's yours, and you can do it what you
is
want.
that legal?
You could just sell it.
Right.
Water pistol. That's quite a fun one.
I've done that. Already done it.
Mm.
Thrown water. Actually, I don't have a pistol because I don't like gun imagery. But I've bought, like this. I'll fill this up.
There's
and
2
I'll
things you can do.
Throw it out the window at the cat.
I don't know. Okay, I'm not 100%.
What about, instead if you don't like guns, what about like a fake penis that pisses?
That's better.
That's
Adds a bit.
fun.
Yeah,
That's
adds a bit
fun.
of levity to the whole process.
Now, if you have a cat and you don't want it jumping over the
I
fence.
don't have a cat,
No,
no.
listen.
Right.
If you don't want it jumping over your fence, you get these things. So if that's your fence, you have a thing that sort of faces that way. And when they see that, they get put off of even trying, right? Their mind is like, I can't do it. So I don't know if you could get the reverse of that and have it going the other way. That might keep them out. It depends kind of how tall are your fences.
What about, even in the front garden, you wouldn't have a fence, would you? No fence.
No foot.
Well,
Is
they're
it
doing
happening
his
in the
front
front
garden.
as well?
Yeah.
Do you have a
Little
front
bit,
garden?
yeah.
Front yard?
It's very small, but it's a little bit. We've dug up the whole grass because it was. You don't need grass again. Climate stuff. You don't really need grass. Got rid of that. So there's
I
loads.
thought everyone shouldn't be paving their driveways because
No. I'm rewilding
Just
it.
cover it in concrete, man.
No, that's worse.
Oh.
So neither of you gave me, and you never let me finish. That's again one of the main problems here. So rewilding it, and obviously you dig it up, and that's when cats like the old dirt, mud and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
fun.
trying to do it as quickly as I can, but it's hard because it takes time for things to grow. But it's happening both places. What I'm saying, right up the back, it's all the freshly dug mud, and I can't replant things quick enough to stop them.
Okay. So have a think. Look up the fence thing because
Yeah.
that might stop them jumping in.
So I have to have some weird garden that looks like a kind of
Maybe.
cell.
Maybe.
a
Yeah.
prison cell.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it'd be worth it, I think. It's not that bad.
Why don't you
But
write?
my son literally picked up. We
A
were like
turd.
playing in the garden. He was just playing in the dirt, and he picked up a.
Found a dinosaur egg.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, if you get a cat,
I should get a cat.
it will fight those out. It won't let anyone else in.
Nice.
You know, it
Can
genuinely
Can I go bigger? Should I get some like
like
a dog.
panther.
yeah,
Or a dog. They're more common, aren't they?
But
Dogs.
then they crap everywhere,
Yeah.
Yeah, and a
and
dog.
you have to pick it up. So, no.
No.
How much are you willing to pay an hour?
Um.
Because I bet there's someone out there.
Are you gonna?
No, that like needs to pay for their Edinburgh show that would come and sit a couple of hours a week, a couple of hours a night.
I'd be
even.
during the night. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be night
Middle
work,
of the night.
which is going to cost more, isn't it?
Because here's a sort of problem that is related to that, and I've talked about this on the show before. I've got pigeons. They keep coming on my balcony.
What? Oh, you've right. Sorry, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've not turned into Jack Duckworth. I've got pigeons coming on my balcony,
Yeah.
and I've resorted to because now they're interrupting my sleep because my brain is like hyper aware. So when they're out there going, I'm like, there's some fucking pigeons, and I'm bursting out of bed, the curtains at these pigeons.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't think.
They get in your head.
I don't know if my girlfriend's enjoying this or not. When I'm doing that, probably
This
not.
podcast.
No, I doubt she's listening anymore. And first couple of episodes, sure. But yeah, so is there like a? Because I haven't done it yet, because I don't really want this, even though it would fit my personality. I don't want to get like a fake hawk. But could you get something?
It wouldn't fit my personality.
It would. I'm saying it would, but
Right, yeah.
I don't really want a
100%,
fake
yeah.
hawk on my
Yeah.
balcony.
Fake hawk.
I used to have.
That's a good name for an Edinburgh show.
You know what? Ben Malaby had like the same issue, didn't he?
Sort of,
when he
yeah.
came on. I
Oh, yeah?
used to have.
I didn't listen to that
It's
episode.
okay.
Sorry.
I used to have. Do you remember Flick from A Bug's Life? Yeah. So a character. He's a big ant. Well, he's,
Is he the
he's
main?
an ant.
Is he the
Yeah,
main
he's the main-
character?
main
Yeah,
lad, right?
yeah.
I had a thing for a bit when I was little, which was it would defend your room. It had a motion sensor thing, and if you went near it, it'd go stop. Who's there? And if you put that in your garden, these cats, they're not going to be able to handle Flick.
Oh, that was what it was of an ant, a giant
A
ant.
giant ant. They could probably get on eBay now for about £400 because it's
I've got
must
it.
be rare.
Get a load of cat food
Oh,
and
no.
hide it in everyone else's gardens.
Yeah. And
You want to make someone else's garden so good
worse.
that they don't
Yeah,
come
yeah,
to your
yeah,
garden.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, got you. A lot of food for thought here.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Are any of those particularly environmentally
I
friendly?
think cover it in concrete.
Spikes. Garden full of spikes.
Low carbon concrete could be okay.
Yeah.
What's the different options here? I don't think any of them are ideal, but it's not an ideal situation either.
It's not an ideal. It's not an ideal podcast.
It's not an ideal podcast.
I've got some. We're awash with
yeah?
listeners' problems this week.
Do they email you in?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This one's
Yeah,
from.
we got an email address.
This one's from Toby,
Gotaproblemmate@gmail.com. Toby.
who's 7,
Oh,
and he says, "Dear Dr. Matt, why are people not bothered about making the earth nice for when I grow up?"
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
So how did Toby know I was coming on this podcast? Because I was
We advertised it last week.
last week. Well, I was asked
Yeah.
yesterday by Bilal to come on this podcast.
It's his son that he doesn't talk about.
It's his son.
It's his son he doesn't mention.
Right.
Don't. It's very sensitive about just answer the
Just answer the question.
yeah because he doesn't get to.
No, do you want the real one? The real problem.
Yeah.
And this might actually resonate with you. You're not quite there yet, but it is going to be some food for as your son gets a bit older. Okay. This is from Jared. Jared says, "Why are you putting a face at Jared?"
Jared Bowen.
Yes.
Is that Jared Bowen?
It's
It
Jared,
might be.
it must be. It's the
the
only
only
Jared,
Jared.
I've ever heard of.
No, it's Jared from The Labyrinth. That's Jareth.
Jareth.
Yeah, different.
Did you do that?
It's climate change.
Go on.
So let's live in proof. This is from Jared. My son, who's 8 years old, has recently made friends with a girl at his school. Some would even say it's a budding romance. My problem is he wants to hang out with her outside of school, and I've met her mum in particular outside the school gates, and I'm not a fan. Obviously, I want my son to have friends and brackets even a cute little girlfriend.
Okay.
No, as in the relationship's cute, not the girl's
Yeah,
cute. I've
yeah.
read that wrong.
No.
But the mum seems very judgmental and highfalutin, and I don't want her judging the kind of things that I might give them for tea if she was to come over, or the clothes that my child wears outside of school.
Yeah, really tricky, isn't it?
Do you have these
At
issues?
the moment, no, but I was speaking to a parent friend last night who's beginning to get those issues as well. They're in their first year at primary school, and this is only going to become more of a problem, I think. And it's something I'm just enjoying not having to think about it right now. But any advice that, I'm interested in what the advice is, because I'm sure this is going to be...
Well, I think I'd be on the other side of the fence in terms of, imagine if I had a kid at school and wanted to hang out with your son. All right, and you didn't know me, and you see me hanging around.
Phil, age 7.
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no! So my sister and brother have been talking about this, and they reckon that even though my brother and his wife are trying for a baby, and my sister I don't think will be that far away, that they said that I'm the odds-on favourite to accidentally have a child next, and it's going to be called Paul. Paul Page. So imagine Paul. Yeah,
Paul Page.
Paul's,
Page.
and he's a bit of he's a bit roughhouser.
He's got a flat cap.
Yeah.
No, but he's a bit rough. He's
got a moustache.
He's the one that's inciting the games of British Bulldog in the playgrounds and stuff. And your son wants him to come around for dinner. Obviously, he's a laugh and a fucking legend, even though he's only 8.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you've seen me hanging around at the school gates
with that chain on.
How are you going to handle it? I mean, you know me, but if you didn't,
Well, I mean, if you didn't know him,
Del Boy,
you'd be worried. You'd be worried that he'd have your child out selling macaroons out the back of a car at the weekends.
Macaroons, yeah.
So nice in your accent.
Yeah.
Macaroons.
How would I handle it? Well, I think I'm on I've got a bit of patience. I think you have to give people time. You have to try it a few times to see how.
How much do you have to hang out with the other parents anyway?
Well, there's definitely swap overs.
Small talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
How have you been?
But are you going to do play dates where they come over and stuff?
That's the thing.
You know?
And if the child goes to their house, and then it's basically like the points of view of that parent that I would be worried about. Like, I don't want this snooty woman hanging around with my son Paul.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't be. You don't hang out with your friend's parents, do you?
Or I don't want my son Paul going around I don't want my son Paul going around this woman's house, and feeding him full of kettle chips, and slur,
Tara Masalata.
Yeah, exactly. When in my house, all it is quavers and
fish fingers
and strongbow dark fruits.
What for the 8-year-olds?
I totally get it. I think it becomes less of an issue when you're a teenager because it's sort of like the parents they don't really need to interact beyond like, oh, I'm staying at so-and-so's house tonight. The parents will have to say hi to each other. I'm thinking back, you must have had friends whose parents were maybe maybe not you so much, because sort of very Ken and all the gangs.
I didn't really move out of my social and economic sphere.
Not very. But, did you have friends whose parents were very different from your parents?
Yeah.
And what did your parents do?
What did they do when the friends came over?
Wait, well, did they talk to the other parents much, or did they just
a little
kind
bit,
of just
small
polite
talk,
small talk?
That's
exactly.
That's what I mean. I don't feel like you have to be best mates with these people.
So I think it's overblown a little bit. I think you just have to make a bit of small talk and let things take its own path. Its own path.
If it was a BBC Three sitcom all about parents meeting, what would it be called?
Motherland. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Have you watched it?
No.
It is actually so good.
Wonderful.
Jared, I would say, don't worry. Kids are fickle, and he'll probably get rid of her soon anyway.
Brush up on your small talk. That's about it.
Do you want to do a round out the show?
Do you have
roll it
time?
on in?
Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry.
With Colleen
I'm having
Nolan
a
knows
lot-
best.
I'm having a lot of fun.
While he's looking at that, have you had a nice time?
It's been lovely to catch up with you both.
Yeah, you too.
Joey
Do
and
you want to
I.
talk about the time you called me a monster or not? Really?
Yeah. So Joey and I met. I think we'd met before. I think we did a gig together in Canterbury.
Oh yeah.
Early days.
The
The Avalon one, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. The
Marlow Theatre.
the big theatre place. 40 minutes this guy did headlining it. I was
You
like,
did.
is he going to pull this off? He did, yeah, he did a great job.
And that was when I was surreal and I didn't have any
Yeah,
material.
you did.
Oh,
I don't know.
jeez.
And he did it. And I was, struggling opening or whatever.
I didn't know I was going to be able to do it.
Anyway, we didn't know each other that well, but I think it was 2013 or 14. We went and did a comedy festival in Denmark together,
It's going through a very dark
that's
time.
Cool.
and we became quite good friends. And I didn't think I was going to get on with Joey,
I was going through a terrible time with a relationship.
and I helped him with it, and very quickly we became good friends.
We had nachos.
Oh, that's lovely.
It was quite an intense weekend. That was when I would have a life. I had a life. I could go and do these things.
You used to pretend to be Dutch on stage.
Yep. Did
Game
It was a
show
big-
What's in the Pancake?
Yeah, for anyone that isn't aware of my stand-up,
So good.
which is most people, almost everybody, there was a routine where I pretended to be a Dutch TV host for a game show called Name That Pancake, where I played clips of pancakes and people had to guess what pancake it was. And by clips, I mean just audio
Clips
of
of a pancake sizzling
of
in
a
the pan.
pancake. And the winner got a big, giant bag of onions.
Oh my god.
Like a really big,
Which is
really
quite
big
hard to
bag.
get on the plane.
Yeah, I didn't take it with me for that one, but that.
So a quick Colleen Nolan knows best.
This is a segment.
Yep.
Oh right, I didn't. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
this was a bit.
Dear
No,
Colleen.
no.
I've
So
not
you know
listened
Colleen
to-
Nolan from the Nolan sisters?
We don't always do it.
Right.
Yeah, you know?
No.
From
the
the
Nolan-
Nolan sisters
I don't-
and Loose Women.
Right.
Anyway.
Who are the Nolan sisters?
They're a band
They
in
sang
the
for a bit.
70s,
They're
80s.
sisters.
Anyway.
I should know this.
She's the Agni aunt on the Daily Mirror website. Dear Colleen, I'm a 60-year-old divorced man. I met a woman on holiday at Easter. We ended up spending a lot of time together and had a hug and a bit of a kiss.
Ooh.
Just scrolling past an advert. I was so attracted to her, and she said that we keep in touch and we exchange numbers. We met a couple of weeks ago to see a play and have dinner, but at the end of the night, I asked her if this was a relationship, and she said she's not looking for a partner but values me as a friend.
So accept that and move on.
Is there more?
Well, I just think I've already gotten to what the problem is.
So what's the
You
problem?
can't ask if you're in a relationship after only seeing somebody once. This
No.
guy's absolutely
bonkers.
psychotic.
Yeah.
They went to see a play. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and then he said, "Are we in a relationship?" She said,
Are
"No."
we had a hug, and I assume
And a
you're my
kiss.
girlfriend.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm.
This guy sounds like he jumped the gun a bit.
Yeah. Do you want to know what the comments say?
Wait, that was it. That was a short.
Well, it's a
one.
bit longer, but it's basically that.
Oh, okay. He didn't. Nothing else useful in there.
She said, "You've been friend zoned. Accept it."
Yeah.
Did
You're
she
not- you're
actually?
not coming back from the friend zone?
No.
Yeah, fine.
Phil D82 said she's already in a relationship / married, from what I can tell.
Oh,
Oh,
is
wow.
she?
No, but that's what he's. Could be one of those girls that's always looking for a better option. Relax and enjoy the ride, but carry on dating other women, says Amandiel.
Oh, Amandiel.
Bill Wiz, is this you?
Yeah.
Billy Wiz. Arrange to meet the bird again and get her lashed up. I guarantee it'll be a relationship then. Possibly only a very short one, but who cares?
Oh my God!
My
Has
God.
Colleen done her one?
Huh?
You didn't read Colleen's answer.
I said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been friend zoned.
That's it.
I'm just skipping through because we're trying to get through to get everything in time.
Oh right. Okay. It's been a while since we did Colleen.
I just glossed over it a bit.
Okay.
No?
Colleen
The
said,
answer was short and the question was very short.
Yeah.
So he's doing the comment.
I just
section.
like to see how well Colleen does answering the thing.
Do you want me to read what Colleen says?
Yes.
It doesn't uncover anything I haven't already
I feel like I should be hosting this with Joey at this point in time.
Thank you.
You don't know about Colleen. You didn't
No, I
even know
didn't know who she is,
existed.
but
Colleen says, I don't think she's messing you about. She's been very clear that she's not looking for a partner at the moment. However, it's clear that she likes you and wants to maintain a friendship. Who knows, it might lead to something in the future, but for now you're in the friend zone, so the ball is in your court. It's up to you to decide if friendship is enough or if you can cope without having your romantic feelings reciprocated. So basically what I said in a nutshell.
She's good, isn't she, Colleen?
A nutshell's bad for the environment? Okay.
Thank
Matt.
you for coming on. It's been an absolute treat, and I'm sorry
Can we-
that we don't agree politically, but
Can we...
you didn't ask me about my political views, so how do you know?
would
we
you
don't
like
agree
SNP?
politically? Well, I mean, sure.
Matthew,
Uh-huh.
what's going on in the book department?
I wrote a book. If you're very welcome
Hot
to.
mess.
Oh, you don't have one on you, do you?
Balls. No,
It's all right.
you could have told me that.
Hot mess.
It's called Hot Mess. What on earth can we do about climate change? It's the world's only comedy book about climate change.
Can I just say...
You can listen to it on Audible as well, and it's just me talking for 9 hours.
Oh, you did that?
Well, two things. Matt's voice is very soothing.
have you heard the
Number two,
audio?
I know, but I've listened to Matt talk at length.
Yes.
And also, I'm a dummy who's not really that bothered about these kind of things. But I read it because it's my friend's book, and it's very funny and very relatable, and it's actually helped me understand a lot.
And that was the whole point of what I was trying to do. I can give you a copy.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I had to fucking pay for mine.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll give you another copy if you want.
Yep.
But the most important thing was you got one of your friends to buy it. and
No, I
that's-
bought it for a friend.
Oh,
I
fuck.
bought two now.
Ooh.
Well, thank you for your custom. Yeah, trying to write pitch another book at the moment. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the time to finish the pitch.
And
but
any more
hopefully-
live shows, or are you done with the live show now?
Not nothing booked in right now.
Okay.
Absolutely zero to publicise it.
See? See, he's come on here out of the goodness of his heart for you, not to promote anything, but just to entertain you.
And his book.
And my book, mostly
Oh,
my book.
right, but-
It's still very relevant. Will be for years to come.
Well, congratulations. That's cool. Must have
In a
taken
word,
ages.
are we going to turn it around, or are we fucked?
In a word, that's what you want me to answer
Just
that.
say
That
fucked or not fucked. You
no,
have
the
to-
answer
That's
is
2 words.
the literally the end of my show and the end of the book is me saying the answer to that is neither of those things.
Mm.
So,
But has that changed since?
see,
Because we're further down the line than when you
no,
wrote the book.
neither of those things is true.
So
It's
So
quite a
really-
lengthy thing that you would have to read like an entire book to understand.
About half.
what about half?
Half, yeah.
I read half.
No, all right, half a book. No, right,
Oh, half a book.
half and
I
half.
thought you said are we half.
Yeah, half is probably the closest answer.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Matt,
Thanks for having me.
winning.
Until next time.
This has been
Say it with us.
Got a problem, mate!
Podcast
Podcast.
and video
Vidcast.
cast and Instagram and
Cast.
TikTok cast.
real cast.
Threads. You on Threads?
We're on Thoughts.
I've done
Thoughts.
one thread so far.
I've yet to do mine, but I have set up my threads.
Goodbye, everybody. Oh,
Until next time, if there's to be a next time. There'll be one next week.
why would you say that?